Alright, what's up guys? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Scribbles, the artist and crocheter behind Eclectic Scribbles, and we are starting a brand new video. So a couple weeks back, I did a video on like 24-ish free fall patterns, and I asked you in the comments if you wanted to drop down there any of the patterns that you wanted to see me test, and I figured that I would give a couple a try. And then we've got some other exciting news. We've got a pattern release that just came out and a tester call that is going out today most likely, so stay tuned for that as well. But I figured I wanted to test out a couple of these patterns. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that none of these are done. They're not done. Well, none of them have eyeballs. None of them have eyeballs. I'm somebody who likes to attach eyeballs after the fact, except for on like super big projects where I use the sinker eyes that I hand paint myself, but I don't use my sinker eyes on things that I'm just trying out. So felt eyes will go on all of these. I just haven't finished making the felt eyes. So anyways, we're just going to excuse the fact that they're all blind, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of the pattern. And we're going to go from success to failure. We're just going to start out with the good stuff. We're going to start out with the fun things. All right, so the first one that I wanted to try was just super cute, super adorable, and it is by Crochet by Yanina, and it was this cutesy little bitty pumpkin pattern, which is adorable, is 100% adorable. I did change this up. It took me about 14 minutes to make this pattern itself. You can attach eyes like on either side of one of these bumps. You're going to have one of these bumps in the middle of your eyes, but yeah, you just attach little eyes here. So just imagine that it has eyes, or this one works great without eyes as well. So, you know, it is technically the most complete one that I have because it doesn't need the eyeballs. So this part right here was I think it was a half double crochet or a double crochet back down the chain, and I didn't like the way that spun for me, and I also didn't like the way that I didn't like how thick it was, because you can see this here is pretty thick, but it spins pretty nice. So what I did on this pattern is, instead of going with a double crochet back down, I did an increase back down, and I got this nice tight spiral. If you don't want such a tight spiral, then of course you can do the pattern as is, or you can just not increase in every chain to make this little dude here. But I will relink the patterns down below so that you can know what I'm talking about, and the previous video will also be linked down below in the description so that you can find it easily as well. But that's what we've got here. This is super fast. It's less than 15 minutes. It is fun. It is cute for autumn. You can make them in all different sizes. Once you have the general premise of the pumpkin down, you can make them bigger by all means. This is in the Burnout Mystical line, so this is a Burnout blanket weight yarn, and it will come out super duper tiny and pretty much I would consider keychain size if you did it in Parfait Chunky, because this is palm size as it is. This is the size of my palm, a little bit smaller than my palm, and it was done with a larger weight. So this would definitely come out in a keychain size or like a backpack buddy size if you did it in Parfait Chunky. Moving on, this one is the next one. There is an orange theme throughout all of these because I was just apparently on an orange kick. This was the little spider pumpkin, and every time I see him, I think of that stupid spider pig, because spider pumpkin starts with the same thing. But anyways, this was the little spider pumpkin. This took me 15 minutes to do. It's super cute as well. You would put your 2 eyeballs right here in the front. This is it from all the angles. It's a super simple little pattern. It's super cute. Do I think that I would make a ton of these? Probably not, because it is very seasonal and very niche. Not a lot of people like spiders, plushy or not. So I don't know how many I would actually make of these, but I would probably have 1 or 2 at a fall market to see how they do. Sometimes spiders go over really, really well, but this is sort of a mix between autumny pumpkins and a spider. So, you know, is what it is, but it is super cute. It worked up super quickly. I did not have any problems with the actual pattern. I didn't make any adjustments to it or anything like that. Next up, I did get the request to do this loaf fox, and I have done it all except for here. And this took me an hour and a half to complete and assemble. It took me an hour and a half to finish, and I don't dislike it. The tail is super chunky, which I think is nice. I think I put mine on the tiniest bit crooked, but it is what it is. I am not a huge fan of how this looks. I will say I adjusted a couple of things. So when you're making the ears, you make the ears in two pieces. You make the white piece, you make the orange piece, and then you stick them together and you go with single crochets around the outside in order to attach those two pieces together, which makes the ears nice and they stand up or whatever. But when you get up here, it wants you to go across the top in black, and I find that I don't think that I liked the placement of where the black sat on mine, and that could be tension related. But I also don't like changing colors on like a rim, and so what I plan to do is to go back in and just embroider some black at the top. That's my plan. And then that would solve the issue and make this a little less difficult around the ear area. I did adjust the baubles for my feet. I think that I could have adjusted them a little bit further now, given the fact that they look a little crooked, but I did have to make an adjustment, which it does notate in the pattern that if you need to adjust your foot, if you need to adjust your feet, you can. But otherwise, I mean, this is super cute. I don't think that this is just the me pattern, honestly. So you make the body first. Well, actually, I think you make everything else first, or I made everything else first. But then you make the body, then you make the muzzle. I think for me, I might have wanted to either like eliminate a row here and make this a little bit closer to the face, or find some way to crochet it as you went along with the body. I don't know. There's a lot of sewing. You have to sew on all of the pieces. So you have to sew on the tail, you have to sew on the ears, you have to sew on this, and I'm more of a no-sew girly if at all possible, even though it doesn't take that long to sew things on. It's just not my favorite thing in the whole world to do. But the pattern came out cute. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cute. If you're into the loaf thing, it's very cute. I just don't know how popular foxes are in comparison to like the loaf cats and the loaf dogs. But I mean, otherwise, it's a nice size. It is a nice size. So it came out, you know, the same size a loaf cat or a loaf dog would. Do I think it's marketable for me personally? For something that takes an hour and a half, I might do one. I might have one per show out, and that's me personally. I might have one per show out, but I don't think that I would make more than that based on what I would have to charge for something that took this long for me to complete. But yeah, it's still cute. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's still cute. So I just don't think it's marketable for me. All right, those are the successes. Ta-da, we're done. No, this is my striped pumpkin. This is my striped pumpkin. Doesn't it look great? Yes, I know it does. It looks fantastic. So this was the little striped pumpkin pattern, and this was easy to work up. I cannot now remember how long it took me to work up. I think this was 45 minutes. It is 36 rows, and every 2 rows you switch out colors, which easy peasy, lemon squeezy, that was fine. It's what happens after this that drove me insane. I tried to close this pumpkin 3 times. I broke my yarn every single time, and I just wanted to scream bloody murder by the time that it was done, which is why my pumpkin, my beautiful pumpkin, looks like this. Because I'm like, you know what? Screw it. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay. So getting to this point, it's now one of these little hand warmers. That's what this is. It's a hand warmer, my striped hand warmer. But anyways, getting to this point was absolutely fine. Easy peasy, 45 minutes. Closing it up, the instructions on the pattern were super unclear, like extremely unclear, and gave little to no explanation as to how you were to close this bad boy up. So you can see that this is sort of cinched in a little bit because that's where I was trying to close the damn thing. So initially, like I said, it's very unclear in the pattern how you're supposed to close this. So initially, I just did my weave in and weave out technique that I use for closing up any hole at the bottom of a pattern, and I broke my yarn. It didn't want to close up all the way. No matter what I did, this pattern did not want to close all the way. I tried with the burnout blanket as I was closing it up. I tried with the burnout blanket separate from the pattern itself, which is why we've got a bunch of ends here. It did not want to close up. I gave it a good couple of tries. And then I came in with a thinner yarn and tried to weave in and out and sort of pull it closed as I went. It still didn't want to close, and I ended up breaking the yarn every single time. So how would I rectify this situation? I'm so happy you asked. I think once I attached the two sides together, I would go around the bottom and either surface slip stitch some stitches all the way around, or I would surface single crochets all the way around and then try to weave in and out of maybe the single crochets and see if that might help. But I don't know. It just did not want to close up for me. Even when I got it really close to closing up, there was a big hole in the middle, and I never got to the other side. I broke my yarn every single time. So just be a little bit wary of closing this bad boy up, because I just couldn't do it. And then I gave up, and I was like, you know what? It's not worth my sanity. It's not worth my sanity. Anyway, those are the ones that I tried. Those are the ones that I have tried from that video specifically. I also wanted to show you guys, I don't know if you saw it in, well, you wouldn't have seen it in that video. The pattern just released this weekend for my little axolotl snuggler, which is super cute. You can even stuff the body if you want to, and you could get like an axolotl plush. That's the good thing about my snugglers. If you want to, you can actually stuff the snugglers and they'll turn into the actual plushy toy, but I just love to squish them. I love the squishy snugglers like this, and they're just so cuddly. But anyways, my testers, I got all of their images in early because this pattern wasn't supposed to release until today, but I went ahead and I released it early because I was just excited. And once the testers were all done, I was like, well, let's just go ahead and do it. And it's been super popular already, which has been great. I've absolutely loved that. So axolotl snuggler pattern is out. And then after that, we have a tester call that is about to go out for the next snuggler pattern, which I came up with yesterday and I'm so excited about. I'm about to show you the new pattern and how you can apply as a tester for it. But before we get into that, I do want to do a couple of things. First of all, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there. Ding your little notification bell so you're informed each and every time I upload new content. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button as well. Let me know down in the comments about what you thought of these poor tests that I did of those free autumn patterns. Which one was your favorite? And would you make any of the ones that I tried? Second of all, I just want to pull some quick attention to my Patreon. If you want priority on any of my pattern tests, you can join the Patreon at any given time for as little as the lowest tier, which is our $3 a month tier, and you can get priority access for all of my tester calls. So I figured I would throw that out. It used to be on the actual pattern tier, but I've taken it down to the $3 tier. So if you want priority testing, you can get in on that for $3 a month, and I come out with more than one pattern each and every month, so you would get priority in testing each of the new patterns that I come out with. So that being said, let's move on to the very, very last thing before I show you the new pattern, and that is I did a video last Friday. That Friday was my studio vlog, and that's what I do on Fridays, is like the studio artsy side of things. And I was very vulnerable in the studio vlog, and I was expressing the fact that I was doing my best, and I didn't want anybody to worry about my mood or my energy levels seeming down, which was fine, and that I needed to have a surgery for Tink, my baby girl down here. She needs to have a surgery to have a mass removed from her stomach, her abdomen, or whatever, and it's not something that I can afford to do right now. And a couple of very sweet people in the comments suggested that I start a GoFundMe, which honestly hadn't even occurred to me, but I did on Friday last week, or Saturday, or whatever, a couple of days ago. I started it, and I will link it down in the comments of this video. It is completely 100% not necessary for anybody to donate towards, but if you would like to help me with $1 or $2 trying to get Tink's surgery a little bit sooner than I might than I might be able to personally, then the link is down below. Completely optional. Completely optional. And I thank you so much for anybody who has donated to it already. I appreciate you. I see you. I'm not going to call you out, but I see you, and thank you very much. All right. Anyways, the new pattern. The new pattern is da 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 da. It's a goblin. It's a Goblin Snuggler. Look at it. I thought, how stinking cute would it be to just do a little Goblin Snuggler to go with our goblin pattern. And this little guy just popped in my head. Hey, Whiskey. Hey, Whiskey. Thank you. Okay, hop down. Hop down. All right, this little guy would go so cute with the upcoming Halloween season, and I think that this little guy just came out adorable. Stinking adorable, completely no-sew like the rest of my snugglers, and it's just so cute. I actually made a couple of them. I wanted to make a snuggler version of him, and then I wanted to show you that once again you can stuff any of my snugglers and they turn into the little actual plush as well. So I made this little purple one too. And of course, you know, once she was purple, I had to give her some little butt cheeks. They're a little bit harder to see on like this variegated yarn, but they're there. Trust me, they're there. And so you can have either a little goblin plush that sits down. Our other goblin stands up, but you can have our little goblin friend that sits down like this, or you can have the little snuggler version, so he's all cuddly for all of those little hands that might want to just snuggle with them at night, but they're stinking adorable. I love them so much. You can make these in just under an hour, which is like my sweet spot as far as making things for market. If I can make it in less than an hour, I am always thrilled to do so. I think the axolotl takes right at an hour as well, if you were at all curious. Most of my snugglers are under an hour, hour and 15 minutes tops. I think something like that. A few of them have a little bit more detail and a little bit more as far as the features are concerned on them. But these little guys, yeah, these little guys I finished in just under an hour, and they're just perfect, the perfect little size for little hands, because I just love this size personally for me. I did these all, again, everything that I did was in like a burlap blanket size, but these would come out even cuter in like a teeny weeny little parfait chunky. Oh my goodness, they would be so cute in parfait chunky. I might have to do that as well, but they came out just a great size. Just a great size in Bernat Mystical for the Bernat blanket line or whatever. But yep, they've got all of these little fingers, which anybody who's tested my patterns know that I love doing the little fingers. But then they have the little toesies as well. So they've got the best of both worlds in the little toe bean area. So they've got toe beans. Anyways, that is all the crochet stuff that I have to show you. That was all the things that I tested. I did start on a pink. I started on a pink goblin, but I haven't finished it yet. I have gotten all the way up to the head done. So I just have to finish out the body, attaching the stuff as I go. and then I'll have a third one for that. But yeah, I figured I would just update you all on some of the patterns that I tested. I will be opening a pattern test for this today on Instagram. I will release all the pattern details, or I will release all the pattern test details so that you can go and sign up for the pattern tester call today. And let's see, the pattern test will run through this weekend, probably Friday. So as long as you can get it done within that time, you can apply. I do pick from my Patreon first, and then I pick a couple of people to test off my Instagram. So if you are a part of my Patreon, you know that you get priority. If you aren't a part of my Patreon, you can still apply and still get chosen by just signing up over on the Instagram feed. I just find that the Instagram feed is a little bit, it's all together. It's all together. I will be releasing that at some point today. It may or may not be up by the time this video goes up. I'm going to edit this video and get it uploaded for you guys, and then I'll probably go ahead while that is uploading to YouTube, and I will get it ready to go for Instagram. So it should be up by the time that you're seeing this video. If it's not, it will be up shortly. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Tell me what you think of the new little goblin dude and dudette. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button so that we can drown out our hater, or one hater who likes to thumbs down our videos. And I will see you in the next video, which will be Friday, and will probably be art related and studio vlog related. So I will be letting you know what I get up to the rest of this week. I love your faces so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you again for anybody who is helping me reach the goal of getting the money together for Tink's surgery. I love you to pieces. I cannot express that enough. And I will see you in the next video. Okay? I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Come on.